What up, guys? I've got something a little bit different today. This is Fortytwo Gaming. This is him playing in the Together We Play tournament that was put on by Tencent. And this play right here was named by Powerbang as the play of the day. And it just gives an example of what kind of player this guy is. Now, I started following him on Facebook when he was posting videos about his struggles trying to get better at CQC. He was already really good at it, but he was just trying to improve. And I always like people who come across like they're trying to improve and they're open to other people's suggestions and stuff like that. And so I started following him. That's his logo right there. I've got links to all of his socials in the description of this video. Try and go check him out. Another thing, man, he's kind of screwed. He can't make any more content because, as you all know, the stupid updates are getting bigger and bigger, and he has no more memory on his device. So it's a real struggle for him to actually record any gameplay. So he's got a GoFundMe set up. I've got a link in the description for that as well. And if you can spare some money, I know times are tight right now, but hey, maybe you just got a stimulus check, you know? Hey, throw a little bit his way, and he can crank out some more content for us. But at any rate, he's also got a really cool thing that he calls the 40 wiping system. And it's kind of set up for like solo versus squads is what he's gearing this article about. But honestly, it applies for every mode and every situation, whether it's just straight solos or solo versus duo, or even if you're on a team, it all still applies. And it goes like this. So, and again, I've got a link to this in the description so you can read the entire article, and I suggest you should. I'm just going to give the highlights so I don't bore you with all the details. You don't have to hear me ramble on and try to read something. But it goes like this. First, find cover. You have to have cover, and you have to have like adequate cover in order to play from. You can't really apply the rest of the steps to this system if you don't have adequate cover. It can't just be like a rock and you're fighting 4 people. You can't do it. Unless maybe you're like sniping and you got ridge lines and stuff, then that works. But the second is organize a plan, and that's where you need to be able to figure out, do I have enough cover to execute what I want to do? Are you gonna just like snipe and try to snipe and thirst dudes? Is it a squad that's like way spread out to where you may be able to get a knock on a sniper, and then as another dude's running over to revive, you may be able to get a second knock? Or are these guys in a compound and you're gonna run up, get behind a broken wall and try to maybe stay on the perimeter of their compound and pick them off, and maybe as they rush you and come over the compound wall, the broken wall, you'll take them out? Or are you gonna like crash into a building and run inside and have a CQC battle? You know, maybe that's what you're comfortable with. So you have to have a game plan of how you're gonna go about fighting them, and your loadout comes into play a lot with that too. So be aware of like what guns you have that are gonna fit the situation best for you. Don't get in a situation that you can't handle. The next one is reposition constantly. And again, you can't do this unless you have the right kind of cover. So you gotta have everything here. Always move around. If you sit in one spot, it's gonna be easy for them to kind of formulate a game plan. You know, a full squad is gonna just group up and rush you and kill you and stick together. If not, they're gonna just bombard you with grenades. I mean, that's like super popular these days. I swear I get grenaded way more now than I used to. So always reposition. Don't be peeking the same spot more than once. You're giving them an easy kill. So always constantly relocate, reposition, make big rotations. Don't just run to a different window in a building. Jump out the back, go to a whole different building, try to get behind people, try to flank. Think on a bigger scale, you know, don't just think of your building. Think of the whole compound as your space to work in. Thirst. You know, he suggests always thirsting. I agree, man. I don't have any shame in it. If you're solo especially, hey, everything's fair. It's war. And don't be too thirsty, because that'll get you killed too. If you get a knock and you like lean back behind cover, reload, and then go to peek out to thirst that knock, a lot of times you'll get killed because they know where you last shot. So you have to be careful about thirsting. But if somebody is sitting inside of a room with you that you just killed in a CQC battle, or you just knocked in a CQC battle, go ahead and thirst him, because he's just giving his buddies information about which window you jumped out and what you're doing and whatever. So go ahead and thirst that guy. And the last thing is to isolate. You know, you don't want to fight multiple people all at once. Ideally, for me personally, I have to turn it all into 1v1. He's good enough. He's comfortable with 2v1. My mindset is it's got to be a 1v1, because every person takes a little bit of my health, so I want to stick to 1v1s. That's just me. So I reposition a lot. Once you're at a higher skill level, you can take on more at one time. But again, check this guy out. Read his entire article on Facebook. His gameplay is exciting to watch, and he's just a really humble guy, and he interacts really good with his community. Thanks, guys.